On Friday night, Democratic presidential candidate, Representative Tulsi Gabbard, appeared on Fox News with Hannity. Yes, the far right and outrageous Sean Hannity. She appeared on his show. So, of course, as Sean Hannity likes to discuss, he likes to discuss the Bidens. He likes to talk about the corruption of Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. So that definitely was a subject that was broached. And so this is that part of the segment in which Tulsi Gabbard is asked to respond.
Why do you think that Hunter Biden made all of that money? What was the motivation of Ukraine and China, Congresswoman?
Those are questions that only Hunter Biden can answer.
What do you suspect it is, though? It sounds to me like they like to buy favor. Doesn't it sound like that to you, Congresswoman? Be honest. You can be honest on this show.
No, really. Hunter Biden is a grown man. He can be held accountable for his own actions.
Does that concern you that somebody with no experience, who's the son of the second most powerful person in the country, got millions and had no experience? Does that concern you?
I think there are a lot of different examples where
I'm not asking about different, Congresswoman, I'm not asking about different examples. Does that concern you? He got all of that money with no experience.
That is for Hunter Biden to answer for and to be held accountable for.
What do you think? Do you think he should have had some experience before you get millions?
I don't know Hunter Biden very well, and I don't know his experience.
I don't care if you know him.
Again, I think that this is for him to answer for. That is for him to answer for and to be held accountable for.
All right. It gets a little tough occasionally on the show, but we do appreciate you coming.
I want to close with one last thought.
That you love my show and you watch it all the time? Okay, go ahead.
I want to say that you and I'm sure, disagree on a lot of things, but I think that you and I agree on one very important point, and that is that the American people have had enough of Hillary Clinton and her warmongering policies. Amen. And so I want to send a message straight to your viewers here today. Join me, support me, help me, vote for me, contribute to my campaign to finally bring about an end to Hillary Clinton's warmongering foreign policy and the influence that she's had for so long over the Democratic Party and Democratic candidates running for president.
Invite you back. Tulsi Gabbard, thank you for being with us.
So, what do you have to say about that, William? I will say, though, I will give Tulsi credit for one thing. And one thing only. Because there are only two things in this clip.
There is only two things in this clip. That's accurate.
I just, because before we just start tearing her down, I do want to give her credit for not going down that rabbit hole with Sean Hannity. Because you could tell, boy, Sean Hannity was doing his damnedest to try to get Tulsi Gabbard to take that Hunter bait. Yeah. And she was doing, to me, the best job she could in that situation to not contribute to a Fox News narrative, a Sean Hannity narrative, AKA Michael Cohen's third client narrative.
I do wish that she was able to pivot from that point, though.
But she tried. She tried, but again, this is his show, and I think she tried to be like, yo, I can name many instances.
Well, not that. I'm just saying to pivot to, well, actually, this isn't even the issue. It's Trump that's the issue. It's not Hunter Biden.
But I think she was, I think she knows what shows she's on, but I don't even think, I think she understood there was no way she would be able to go there.
Right.
I think she was trying to find a middle point. Hey, that's for Hunter Biden to answer. Maybe she could have just said, yeah, maybe there's some issues there, but I don't think she wanted to give it any credence. But what she did try to do, at least, is say, kind of suggest that it's a broad problem. It's a broader problem. I can point to many instances, and he shut that down like that. So it looked like she tried to kind of pivot a little bit, and he just shut it down immediately.
I'm a little bit more critical of her on that because I think if you were being honest and seeing things the way that you would objectively see things in this whole Ukraine and impeachment inquiry issue, that you would push back And not just on, trying to pivot, hey, it's not just Hunter Biden. There have been many people that have maybe capitalized on their name and their stature, blah, blah, blah. You would pivot to Donald Trump, and if you were being truthful and objective, that's the direction you would go, because it's about Donald Trump's actions. It's not about Hunter Biden's actions, which don't seem to be criminal whatsoever. But I don't think she wanted to do that, because honestly, she doesn't come across as wanting to be like that hard-hitting, like, she doesn't come across as somebody that likes to challenge the conservative narrative, not in a very forceful way.
True. She tends to let it fly.
Yes.
And to me, if you let it fly, that suggests you think there's some validity in it, yes, regardless of whether you've explicitly stated that or not.
And this is not the only time we've seen this. We've seen that with her Dave Rubin interview as well, where she just kind of...
Yeah, I think that's fair. Every time Dave Rubin presented her with a loaded question,
right,
she was like, "Oh, I think that's fair," and just went on to pretty much frame her answer around false narrative that he presented through a loaded question. Now, okay,
issue 2.
Issue two. First issue. All right, I'll give Tulsi a thumbs up on that. I don't know what prompted her to then bring up.
Because she wasn't prompted.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say I don't know what prompted her, because Hannity didn't prompt her.
Not at all.
She started talking about the impeachment inquiry.
Well, no, she started talking about Hillary.
I mean, sorry, my bad, but that's another thing.
Yeah.
I preempted that.
Yeah, you did.
My bad. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, she started talking about Hillary.
Which you said she was not prompted.
She wasn't prompted to talk about Hillary. And not only did she talk about Hillary, she talked about Hillary as if she was the head of the Department of Defense right now. She talked about Hillary as if it is her policies that kind of drive this military-industrial complex. It is her specifically. Hillary Clinton is responsible for United States foreign policy as it pertains to war.
She said, I'm sure, well, she's, because she tried to frame this around the narrative or the notion that her and Hannity don't really have a lot that they agree on. But there's one thing that we can all kind of coalesce around, right? And that's Hillary Clinton. She said, the American people have had enough of Hillary Clinton and her warmongering policies. You said, as if she's the head of the Department of Defense. I say it's like she's the current president of the United States. How are you going to get rid of Hillary Clinton's warmongering policies when she's not in any official capacity? She doesn't have an elected position. She doesn't have an appointed position. She's definitely not the president of the United States. So how are you going to extricate her policies when, by all means, by all accounts, it doesn't seem like her policies are in place, because the antithesis to Hillary Clinton is Donald Trump, right? I think Hannity would agree with that. I'm not sure I agree, but still, Hannity would say, yes, he's completely different. He's actually trying to get things done. He's good for foreign policy. So how are you going to... And he signs off on this. Yeah.
Boy, you saw, I think he was surprised.
How you going to...
He looked surprised.
How you going to do that? What kind of magic do you have to remove Hillary Clinton's policy from our current administration? How are you going to do that when she's not even anywhere near it?
If there's a such thing as Hillary Clinton's policy. Yeah, we can call her a warmonger.
That's another thing.
As an individual.
Like her name's
all we
on
want to, but to act as if Hillary Clinton's name is to me that's laughable. Again, we could definitely objectively talk about Hillary Clinton. You know what I'm saying? But to act as if somehow she herself is behind, the foreign policy of the United States.
Right.
And it's not just done on her behalf, but done in her name. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's just ridiculous. Again, that screams of desperation.
Desperation.
Again, we've gone over this when it comes to when it comes to Tulsi Gabbard. She has to make it about Hillary Clinton because that's really kind of her last grasp right now. Because Hillary Clinton is fairly unpopular. She's polarizing. So why not make it about me and Hillary in order to get this support from some people? It makes sense. It makes strategic sense, but it's whack.
See, if you were going to, again, if we were going to involve ourselves in a conversation where we talked about the past, where we talked about failed military policies, blunders, if we talked about conflicts that we should have never even started or been a part of, then yeah, you could talk about Hillary Clinton, but not only Hillary Clinton, but yeah, she would be involved in that. But it seems to be that where Tulsi Gabbard was going was current events. She was talking about, hey, this is what we need to do moving forward, as if Hillary Clinton has her hands on policy or any type of influence in how we shape our foreign policy around the world. This would have sounded a little bit more apt, a little bit more appropriate. I think we can all agree that the American people are tired of President Trump's destructive foreign policy measures.
Which is a continuation of foreign policy measures and of approach that are of our past politicians, which would include A, B, C, D, E,
Well,
F,
if
G.
you wanted to go there,
that would have been fine.
You could,
like, yeah,
but you would have to include Donald Trump.
yeah.
But on Fox News with Hannity, you think?
So basically saying she was. You think she was holding her tongue? Because there's no way she doesn't know that who is in charge right now.